Good morning. Thank you everyone for joining us for this webinar about performance and security on the web. We're going to be talking to you about IBM Edge Delivery Services, which is powered by Akamai Technologies, and the value that Level 5 technology can group as well. But mostly, we're going to be allowing you to have questions with our panel of experts so that you can get the questions that are specific to your business and your needs answered today mostly. These are two of the most compelling requirements on the internet today, and that's true for any industry and any business. Most businesses, communications, our news, and our social events, just about everything that we touch is on the internet today. If you have customers or employees or you simply use the web to expand your brand, the web is a critical tool. And DDoS, downtime, data theft, defacement, and brand damage are today's critical risks. So let's talk just a little bit about who Akamai and IBM Edge Delivery Services are and what they bring. Akamai is the company that makes the internet work. They are the leading security and performance company out there. They are the leading provider of cloud services for delivering, securing, and optimizing all business applications that are on the web, or I should say almost all business applications are on the web. They dominate the content delivery space, and up to 30% of all worldwide internet traffic flows through the Akamai Intelligent Platform daily. And then I think kind of one of my most fun tips or bits of information about Akamai is that Motley Fool ranked them number 7 of the 25 best companies in America, which is kind of fun, and I've been with them for a while as a partner, and they really are fun. They are also revolutionizing how businesses optimize the enterprise, consumer, and entertainment experiences on any device, anywhere. And the partnership between Akamai and IBM is kind of bringing together the sizzle of the two. They're both industry and thought leaders, and they've been partners for 14 years. IBM Edge Delivery Services packages IBM support for implementation and help desk support on top of the Akamai Intelligent Platform and provide a well-rounded solution for many of our customers. This whole solution is managed by an IBM project executive, and of course it's backed by, IBM's financial strength and delivery strength. IBM is the largest channel partner for Akamai, and they're also the largest consumer of Akamai services. If you've ever watched the Masters or the US Open or done anything on IBM.com, these are all powered by Akamai. So the three of us teamed together, IBM, Akamai, and Level 5, to address the concerns that we just talked about. And we wanted to get you to our experts just as soon as we could. So Steve Fidzikowski will be presenting in just a moment, but let me tell you a couple of things about Steve and Sean and Tim. Steve is an IBM business unit executive with over 34 years of experience at IBM, and he's pretty much responsible for the overall success of all the partners and customers who are using Edge Delivery Services. He has been wrapped around this technology for a long time, and he brings a phenomenal mix of business understanding and technical understanding. Sean O'Mahony is from Akamai Technologies. He also has years of experience with Akamai, both with Akamai and IBM, and an additional partner. So he also brings both the business and the technical to the panel today. And then Tim works with us at Level 5, and he is our information security expert. And he really understands what's going on the web today, where the security glitches are, how to prevent them, and how to handle them. And he views that from the business perspective again, as well as being able to dive into the weeds if we want. So with this, I'm going to hand it off to Steve.
Thank you, Aniki. We'll look at the next slide. So what I wanted to do today, folks, was really get you focused and interested in this particular solution offering. As Aniki had commented on, I've been around IBM a long time. I've seen a lot of different offerings and capabilities come and go. I've seen some trendsetters, some pace setters, And this particular offering, the IBM Edge Delivery Service and partnership between IBM and Akamai, is really a phenomenal occurrence that I became very interested in and really got amped up over as I was introduced to it. Basically, it's a twofold offering capability for customers that are web-based. So the first consideration is for the client is, am I a web user or am I dependent on the web? And if so, do I have performance constraints or issues in addition to security for my business and or my user communities? So the 3 key points here is I'm a web-based customer, and yes, I am concerned over the performance and security of my user/business. Those are really the 2 problem areas of focus and the solution capabilities that I like to highlight right off the starting blocks. It really consists of a set of web servers there on the left-hand side as you look, and then in the middle, the network providers, all of the different touch points within the web environment, and then on out to your right-hand side, your external or your user communities. That's the nucleus of the environment and what it consists of. So as we look at this opportunity and where it can help satisfy some of the customer issues and concerns, those are the areas of interest or the key facets of the nucleus consideration that I would point you to. Next slide, Anki. When we look at what the current business climate or what the world exists of today, if you will, from a web user or internet user, what you could expect from a user or from a solution provider using the Akamai Edge Delivery Service is some consistency across your consumer base, your global reach, new applications, different types of industries. So when I set this up, I really look at it as it's an enterprise-based solution that can be laid across any and every device type style. So whether it's handheld, laptop, desktop, it really covers the gamut of the devices. It covers the business segments, whether it's financial, healthcare, the banking industry, et cetera, and it's got a global reach. So from looking at this slide, those are the key points that I want to stress is, again, it's all based facet of business alliances and segment types. It has a global reach, and it covers all device types. And some of these percentiles that are snapped in on this chart, I'm not going to read every one of them because they're pretty much self-explanatory, but you can see from a user community what each of these segments and what the percentiles of use and coverage are. Next slide. So what do we talk about when we talk about the IBM and Akamai partnership? Really what IBM has done is they've taken the Akamai company's capabilities and we've wrapped them into an IBM branded solution. So for the customer, in discussions, a couple points I like to stress out is the IBM and Akamai partnership is a continuation of the contract holder, which is IBM, and in this case, you folks are going to be a selling agent or a partner agent through level 5. And then Akamai is actually the deliverer of service. So what we like to position as is the customer's doing business with the IBM brand. They're doing it through their traditional business partners, routes, and sales to market model, and they have the dependency, reputation, and reliability of the Akamai service provider. And again, it's consistent, predictable performance structures on a global scale, so there's no limitations from that. And what it really consists of, this diagram is really to show you how this works. What Akamai really does, in addition to providing a solution, they own a proprietary set of technologies, algorithms, and different capabilities based on the server reach across the globe, and they've networked this into proprietary architecture that we actually load the customer on top of. So when you look at this, for the customer, it's pretty impact neutral from a point or consideration. Do I have to buy anything? Do I have to install anything? The answer is no, basically the customer enjoys the benefit of being able to enjoy the benefits of the solution based on configuration and setup. So it's somewhat seamless to the end customer and how they enjoy the benefit of this particular solution. The technology, if you look at it in its simplest point of view, it really optimized the transmission and transfer of the data and the user experience. So it's volume insensitive because of the vast server deployment and reach of the Akamai network. It really takes that server capability and that reach, in addition to the technologies and proprietary, the algorithms, et cetera, and the caching techniques and capabilities, it culminates all of those key benefits into a seamless network configuration, globally deployed, and it really allows the customer to very quickly take advantage of what I like to call the superstructure, which is the infrastructure technology capability, but also the vast reach of the server deployment within the entire global network. One point I'd like to make on this slide is with the customer, this really isn't for the customer that has a very localized dependency on the web or the network. This is for your customers that are intrastate dependent. They have a vast either existing need to extend out a local geographic reach. Again, a global capability on top of that. This is really focused for those customers that have that current requirement set or are looking to expand beyond that localized or regional capability and reach. Next question, our slide. So when we talk, I've touched a little bit on this, but when I sort of breezed over that server deployment and really what Akamai has to offer, when you really step back and look at some of the detail into this, it's obviously a cloud platform deployed by Akamai, and it basically takes and transforms that internet experience into a fast and predictable capability that not only gives the customer the real-time enjoyment of that potential, but it also gives them the benefit of being scalable. So from day one, the customer can enjoy a very dependent, rapid online experience. If they choose to also take advantage of the security benefits, they also, sorry about that, just getting interrupted here. Kill that. Apologize for that, folks. As we talk about what the Akamai service and capability is, it's 190,000 servers. So if you look at what they've been able to do over their tenure, they've been able to deploy, a significant number of servers across the globe, which really gives you the benefit of redundancy. The customer does not have to depend on single threading or single pass-throughs of servers. They really have, again, what I like to tag is a built-in DR type of capability. So if a server takes a hit, they're very rapidly pointed to the next best server reach. So it's somewhat seamless from an outage experience. It's a vast 1,400 network build out. So if we look at the server deployment on top of the network reach, there's 1,400 plus networks, spans over 750 cities, and continues on. Again, I won't read each one of these, but those are the key points within the scale and the reach of the infrastructure deployment. And then if you look on the right-hand side, some of the metrics, 26.5 million requests that's running across the superstructure network, 100 plus million streams of requests delivered. And then you get into some of the storage metrics, the greater than 30 terabits per second, et cetera, et cetera. Again, I won't read all these, but these are very impressive metrics that the Akamai capability has been able to render to the end customer, and then as an end user, in return, get to enjoy and use that. And then I would just close this slide by saying that 90% of the world internet users are one hop away from the Akamai network capability and reach. Next slide. So with that said, I've talked a little bit about IBM and Akamai and the partnership and really what Akamai has done and what IBM's been able to partner and exploit. Again, excuse that. I'd like to talk a little bit about the level 5 technology and the positioning with these folks. IBM has been a long vested partner with level 5. I've been personally affiliated with the partnership for 4+ years, and during that 4-year tenure for me, I've grown accustomed to a very top tier professional type relationship, a partnership that's willing to go above and beyond to not only respond to the customer and provide the best breed of solution, but also being very flexible and being willing to entertain dynamic requirement sets, maybe unique capabilities that may not be generically evident or apparent, but again, that professional partnership and willingness to be open-minded about that customer requirement set. Again, you guys probably know a lot about the level 5 company and the capability, but we enjoy as a partnership wide-ranging experience and knowledge level. I've been fortunate enough to be on some customer engagements and be participant in closing some pretty significant deals with level 5 in the IBM company. So not only, am I looking at a chart and rattling off some of the bullet points, but I've had that personal experience with level 5 and have enjoyed the success factor that level 5 and that business relationship that's been created between IBM and level 5. Obviously, that cascades and that touch points to the Akamai business relationship because in kind, I wouldn't be jest if I did not make a similar comment that in my tenure with Akamai, that company also shares in some of the same facets and highlights in being a very strong, willing, and deliberate partner. Some of the things to consider as we go forward with, and Annika, I don't know what your thoughts were about tying out with the participants of today and where some of their interests may lie with the partnership and how these partnerships work together. This is sort of what I wanted to touch on this particular slide, is just reinforce the bonded relationship, the long-term tenure between the relationships, the business partnerships, and again to stress that as we've bonded these partnerships, we've had these successful experiences at the end customer level, we continue to build on that. And part of today, part of what I wanted to do was to get out and expand beyond that level 5 and Akamai relationship and cascade that to the level 5 business relationships and partners that exist out there, because I very much believe that the partnership is the experience and the wave of the future that continues to position us for growth trends and patterns that otherwise we'd be somewhat limited to if we were just to stay within our company domains. Next slide.
So thank you, Steve. I think we're moving into the question part now, and thank you for all your kind accolades for both Level 5 and Akamai. Very much appreciated. We think that Level 5 brings the having been in the C-level suite to the table to add to all the wonderful technologies and background that IBM and Akamai bring. So thank you again. Let's jump into questions. We do have had some that come across, and I'll read one off, and whether that's you, Steve, or you, Sean, or you, Tim, somebody can jump in and answer it. So this first question is, why isn't the direct route the fastest from an inquiry from a customer to my site? Sean, that might be you.
I'm sorry, so why isn't the direct route to my site? I guess I don't quite understand the question. Is it more on their website, or is it a question about how Akamai works, or how Akamai would work in between that?
I think how Akamai would work in between that. One of the slides showed that Akamai provides the fastest route, and I think the question is directed to that. Why isn't the direct route the fastest route from point A to point B?
I got you. Perfect. So one of the things that Steve mentioned, and he did a great job mentioning that, was when you start to think about Akamai, and you start thinking about IBM and Level 5 and the partnership, what you really want to do is think about how more and more people are utilizing the internet to access data. And what our job here at Akamai is to bring that data closer to the end user, right? So when you're thinking about Akamai, I really want you to kind of think about outside of the data center, right? There's a lot of things that Level 5 and IBM do awesome inside of the data center. Everything that Akamai does is outside of the data center. So really, when a company moves to the cloud, right, you're really losing control, right? And you're losing control of a couple of different things that are very, very critical to business application owners, internet application owners, performance being one. Once it leaves your data center, once it leaves your host origin, no matter where you're hosting it at, and with IBM at soft layer, or with another competitor, or at your own data center, you lose the ability and that ability to control that performance on how your end user on the outside of the internet is accessing that, or what that performance looks like to that end user. You're losing control over the availability of that application. You're losing the ability to scale, right, to scale up, to scale down. You're also losing the ability to control the security, right? Those are some of the 4 key attributes that IBM, Akamai, and Level 5 are really bringing. So the question why doesn't it go direct faster? Well, there's a lot of things that happen inside of this big nebulous cloud called the internet, right? It's a network of networks, right? It's based off of 40-year-old technology, right? And so that 40-year-old technology does not really allow for scalability, right? And that's really the secret sauce of what Akamai does. We have over 190,000 servers around the world and over 2,500 different points of presence. So that means that we're bringing internet-based mission-critical applications closer to the end user, right, on any device, anywhere in the world. That's really our goal. We want to be fast, reliable, and secure for any internet web-based application. More and more people now are utilizing these as their means of communication, whether it's for personal applications or business applications, right? It doesn't matter what device you're on. We want to bring that application fast, reliable, and secure. So essentially, we're actually bringing that internet application close to wherever that end user is who's trying to access that. So I hope that answers the question, why is it better to use Akamai versus having it come in direct? Because you're also going to be dealing with routing problems. You're going to be dealing with bandwidth issues. Let's say there's a catastrophe on the West Coast. Well, there's not a lot of places for internet traffic to start getting routed around that, right? There's congestion problems. Something's happening in Los Angeles, right? And then there's also the security piece. Someone's trying to DDoS your application. We can help alleviate all of those issues with Akamai, IBM, and Level 5.
Thanks so much, Sean. Okay, we have, and you might just want to continue on with this one. It says, why are security and performance such a big issue today? What's the urgency?
Yeah, so great question. So from our perspective, from Akamai's perspective, we see security being one of the most mission-critical issues that companies are facing, right? With the advancement of attacks, with the ability to be able to go out and buy a DDoS service against, some application for literally as little as $49.95. You can go buy a service that will go DDoS an application or a company that you may have a problem with, right? That's going to bring down the customer's brand. All of a sudden, the customer has some branding issues because they were attacked. They didn't have enough servers. They didn't have enough infrastructure to fight off that attack. Most internet DDoS attacks that we see today here at Akamai are based around the 13 gigabytes per second. Most connections are around 10 gigs, right? And so we've also seen as many a large-scale attack as much as 360 gigs attacks. So that would just cripple someone's application infrastructure or their data center, right? With Akamai, we're able to absorb that, right? We're able to facilitate that attack and keep all the good traffic coming. In oftentimes cases, we're actually telling customers that they were DDoS, and while they're still actually having good traffic flowing in and out, whether it's business to business, business to consumer, or even business to employee, we can protect HTTP, HTTPS. We can also protect the data center itself. You can kind of think about Akamai as an extra layer of protection outside of the data center. We're bringing essentially security guards. Instead of having security guards outside of your data center, we're putting them on every corner of the streets in your entire city, and also moving those security guards outside of the state and putting them. So we're stopping the attacks where they're coming in, and conversely, we're delivering those applications where people are requesting them from. So there's the security and the performance.
Yeah, if I could add to that, Sean, it also seems that in the past, the use of the internet was to gain information. You go to a website and you find out what the weather was in Los Angeles. Now it's different. Now we're transacting business. More and more business sales are actually occurring over the internet. Slowing down the functionality of a web application can cause a business to lose sales. So you need to have your applications up and running at maximum efficiency all the time. With the vast increase in web congestion that you just mentioned, coupled with the increase in the different kinds of security attacks that are occurring, even slowing down the web traffic coming in and out of a site is enough to cause lost sales. So you got to really pay attention to both the acceleration aspect, which Akamai brings to the table, and the security aspect that Akamai brings to the table in its DDoS offerings.
Great. I had another question.
Thanks, Tim and Sean. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, can you tell us what the #1 security risk is right now from a business perspective?
Well, so great question. So I think from an Akamai perspective, we see a lot of different attacks, day one attacks, because again, we have 15 to 30% of the all internet traffic flowing over our platform every single day. We see day one attacks. So there's a couple of different pieces of information out on Akamai.com that you can certainly go get about some of the day one attacks and how big they were and how we mitigated those to our customers and to our partners. I still think today that probably the most important issue is DDoS itself, right? So whether it's a slow LoRa's attack or a huge just volumetric attack, attacking your website, attacking your application, bringing that application down, and then having to go out and publicly say that yes, we were attacked or we were brought down for a certain number of reasons, that creates a certain level of brand awareness that you may or may not want to have on your record. So I think DDoS is still probably the key thing that we're looking at here within Akamai.
Yeah, that downtime issue, Sean, is a big issue. Now the cost of downtime is increasing every year, and the last thing you want is to be out of business for a protracted period of time. So being able to preemptively stop the DDoS attack before it reaches the origin server is absolutely critical.
Just to follow up, how secure is Edge powered by Akamai, and why is it more secure than the other offerings out there?
Yeah, so again, IBM is able to resell our Akamai solutions underneath the Edge Delivery platform. We have a network of networks that really controls each of our Edge servers, right? So we're bringing servers close to San Francisco, into Seattle, into Los Angeles, throughout the entire world. And so we're able to control each of those servers and have them act almost as a WAF, web application firewall, close to the end user. So we're able to see what regular good traffic looks like, port 80, port 443. We're able to scan that, see what good traffic is, have that come through, stop the bad traffic as it is out there on the edge. Again, we want to make sure and have you take a look at Akamai and IBM and Level 5 in this Edge Delivery offering as an additional layer of protection outside of your data center. This is going to be a complementary service for customers who want to utilize a web-based application, a cloud-based application security platform. From a standpoint of scalability, Akamai is the #1 provider out there. From the standpoint of actually having the ability to protect and scan pure data, we have that ability to protect the data center as well. You still have the need for IDS, IPS devices for some security audits, things like that IBM can certainly provide, and Level 5 can provide some guidance on. But from the standpoint of protecting your mission critical applications outside on the edge of the internet, that's where really what Akamai comes into play.
Okay, so another question coming across is, what industries benefit the most from this offering?
Well, that's a great question. We get that a lot, and I think the stock answer is every single industry benefits, whether it's wholesale distribution and there's a mission critical ordering system, whether it's a CRM or an ERP, or it can be very, very high value to the customer as long as it's web based, and it can be very, very high volume, or it can be exactly the opposite. It can be low volume but very, very high value. Whatever those applications are, that's someone's going to get called at 2 o'clock in the morning because this application is not running, not functioning correctly. Those are the people that we want to talk to. Those are the people that we want to say, let us help you, let us show you how Akamai and IBM and Level 5 can help this application, make it more available, make it more secure, and make it more reliable. So I think I don't think there's any, even the medical field, right? There's a lot of medical devices or medical people, medical salespeople who are out selling. There's some type of ordering online system. If you think about retail or e-commerce, right? That's where Akamai really started getting a very, very strong foothold. We have a very, very large number of e-commerce, because obviously if you go to any type of shopping cart and you put an item in your shopping cart, even from a personal perspective, if it takes more than 2 to 3 to 4 seconds for that shopping cart to appear, my item to appear in that shopping cart, I'm going to go to another store, I'm going to go to another site and go buy that item because it's taking too long. We want instantaneous feedback, and we help deliver that via the Akamai platform.
Yeah, I think that's critical, Sean. Just to build upon that, many studies have shown that if you get much past a 3, 4, 5 second time range in terms of making your application function properly, and as Sean was mentioning, the purchase going into the shopping cart, the web actually coming up and being visible, you start losing people, and they'll go to some other website. They want instantaneous access to the medical records, to the products that you're trying to sell, the services that you're trying to sell, and that's what one of the things that Akamai does best.
Thank you. How does Edge benefit the small banking business?
Yeah, so we're actually getting a lot of conversations and a lot of wins and closes by small regionalized banks who are getting hit by a particular malicious activity called DDoS bit for coin. There's a small to medium-sized large organization who are going out hitting small, medium-sized banks and saying that if you don't pay us in bitcoins, kind of as a ransom notification, then we're gonna DDoS your bank site, and your customers are not going to be able to access their mobile applications or their online applications. So we're seeing a lot more customers come to us asking for protection in these types of cases. And again, from a standpoint of, we can help accelerate any application, whether it's a mobile application or whether it's an online application to any device anywhere in the world, right? But we want to make sure and focus in on the security piece, and that's the part of our business that is growing exponentially right now, is because there's so many people coming in and trying to attack these either it's a small, medium, or even large size enterprises right now. I don't know if that really answered your question, but I think even though it's maybe a regionalized service, they can still have protection through Akamai, through IBM, through Level 5 for their data center, for their host origin. Again, no matter where they're hosted.
That's actually a great segue to the next question. It talks about performance. It says, why is performance relevant to me as a mid-size or smaller company that doesn't do any sales from my site?
So performance is a great indicator. So if you're not doing any type of sales off of your website, I guess my question is, Are you utilizing the internet to do any type of CRM, customer inventory, any type of ordering supplies, ordering, any type of ordering from your distributors, from your partners, from your business partners? Are you doing anything for your employees? Do you have any type of remote employees? Things of that nature. We oftentimes find that there's lots of companies who have more of an informational web presence, but then when you go behind the firewall and there's some type of VPN access, that VPN access, although it's a secure site, that could be breached. So via Akamai, IBM's Level 5, there's abilities for us to protect that core infrastructure, that data center. That's with the recent acquisition that Akamai got through Prolexic. We can actually be able to scan all that information, make sure there's no SQL injections coming in. Maybe somebody clicked on a web link that they weren't supposed to. Now all of a sudden that web link is going back in through the VPN, back into the firewall, and back into the database where people are able to pull that information out. We can stop all that, again, on the cloud outside of the data center.
Great. Got a couple more questions to come across. Can Akamai or Edge Delivery help if I want to maximize my current infrastructure investment instead of moving to an OpEx model?
Yeah, so we see oftentimes a lot of our customers come to Akamai looking to, if you kind of think about it, as companies try to expand, you're hit with really two different issues that pop up, right? Should I make more CapEx expenditures because I need to go buy more servers because I want to go to this market? Now I need to go buy space in this market. So that's obviously a CapEx cost. You got to go buy the infrastructure. Now you got to go buy people to go into that space as well. And then you have the constant shifting of resources. Well, maybe that person doesn't want to work nights, or that person doesn't want to work days, or that person is leaving for a better opportunity. So utilizing Akamai, you have the ability to utilize our 190,000 servers around the world. So you can still focus in on your core infrastructure, maximize that investment in that core infrastructure, but Akamai is then able to essentially pull that data, proliferate it out on our platform, bring it close to who's ever looking for that information, with you still able to maximize and maintain your core business, and really focus in on your core business, your core relationships, versus having to go manage people, manage more infrastructure, manage locations, things of that nature. So absolutely, we see that almost every single day, where people are coming to Akamai to utilize their infrastructure versus and utilize our infrastructure versus expanding out of more CapEx.
Thanks, Sean. So it looks like we have one final question, and it looks more toward the performance and the security side. How much harm can it do to have a site that is just a few seconds slower? Does anyone really compare site speed, and how do I know if I've lost a customer due to performance?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's a couple of white papers out there. Gartner even published a couple of white papers that really kind of spoke to the validity of why performance is so important. And I think Tim kind of mentioned this just a few minutes ago, that literally if your web interaction with your end user, and again, let's say your data center is on the East Coast, and your end user is on the West Coast, and there's something happening where it's congesting the internet, or there's bandwidth limitations, or there's a brownout in California, or whatever the case may be, right? If your customer's interaction with that data center takes longer than literally 2 to 3 seconds, then you really lost that customer and that brand recognition. So there used to be, everyone's focusing on customer service inside the brick and mortar stores. Well, it's just an extension of that now out on the web. You want to have great customer service via your responsiveness, via your performance, and Akamai is here to help that.
And I might add to that, Sean, build upon that, and that's true across device type. So you can be sitting at home and have a desktop or a laptop and get a great service. Then you go out in your car and you want to check back in on something, you use your mobile phone, your smartphone. Are you going to get the same service quality of experience on that phone as you did on your desktop? With Akamai, you do. That's really critical to focus on that particular point, because a lot more traffic and business is being conducted now via smartphones and other types of mobile devices than used to be the case. And you've got to cover that angle because you still are hit with the same constraints in terms of that experience has got to be a positive experience for the customer within a very short time window, or you're going to lose that customer.
Thanks for adding that, Tim. Appreciate it. Is there anything else that you, Tim, you, Shauna, you, Steve, want to add as a final bit of wisdom to this? It appears we're out of questions for our panel.
I would just encourage everyone on the call and on this call to reach out to your level 5 coordinators if you have any questions, any comments about how IBM Edge and Akamai can help you and your mission critical web-based applications. We're here to help. We have the ability to run some non-invasive tests on your websites, on your applications. We can show you examples. I like to kind of say that Akamai is almost like they're from Missouri. They're the show me state. We want to show you with empirical proof how much we can help you with your performance or help your security piece. So please take us up on that opportunity and please engage us, and we look forward to our future conversations.
Likewise, I'd like to thank everyone for their participation today. It's a pleasure to be on a panel that involves Akamai, because we're talking about world-class types of service here with capability that you just can't get everywhere. In terms of scalability, 100% guaranteed uptime, you can't beat the Akamai brand. And I strongly encourage everybody to check it out. I think you're going to be really pleased with what you find in terms of the ability for web performance, and that includes the security piece, as Sean just mentioned.
I think one last piece, if I may, and Akamai is a company that not a lot of people have heard about, but I'm sure if you've ever made an online reservation for travel or for hotel or for car rental, if you've ever watched a video online, if you've ever purchased anything online, then you've probably utilized Akamai services and didn't even know it. We're very, very well known within the e-commerce folks, especially. So if there's any type of applications out there that you would consider mission critical to your business, that's what we want to make sure and highlight on how we can help you protect it and how we can help you increase the performance and reliability of that application.
All right. Well, thank you, Sean O'Mahony from Akamai, Steve Bijokowski from IBM, our world-class partners, as Tim said, and Tim Brand from Level 5. Thank you for being our experts on our panel chat today. And for all the attendees, we'll be contacting you with a free white paper and some links to some additional resources in a brand new video about Edge Delivery Services, IBM, Akamai, and Level 5, and of course, it's powered by Akamai. So thank you again very much for your time, and everyone have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.